Arthur Thorne was a man who possessed everything the world could offer. His empire was built on the cold, relentless precision of accumulated minutes. He spent his life trading his health for wealth, watching the numbers on his terminal climb while the sun set unnoticed outside his window. But the ultimate auditor eventually came to collect a terminal diagnosis, a finite number of heartbeats remaining, and no amount of gold could stop it. His hands, once steady enough to move markets, now trembled with the terrifying realization that his time had finally run out. Desperate and hollow, Arthur sought a different kind of market. He followed whispers to a place where the currency wasn't gold, but existence itself. In the heart of the gloom stood the merchant of seconds, a figure draped in smoke and shadow, holding a light that didn't belong here. Arthur didn't hesitate. He offered everything: the bars of gold, the deeds to his towers, the very blood of his legacy for just a few more years. The merchant handed him vials of shimmering sand. Time is a commodity, the figure hissed. But remember that even a long story has an end. Arthur consumed the sand greedily. Within moments, the gray left his hair, the lines vanished from his skin, and the fire returned to his soul. He returned to the world, a man reborn. He watched with a cruel fascination as his peers aged, withered, and eventually turned to dust. Decades passed. Like minutes, Arthur bought more time and more, until the faces of his children and grandchildren were nothing but fading memories. He had achieved the impossible. He had outlived the clock. But he soon found that a life without an end is just a long, silent corridor. One evening, the glowing sand began to dim. Panicked, Arthur sought the merchant once more, carrying his last remnants of wealth in a silver case. The merchant was waiting, but this time, the glowing hourglass was cracked, its precious contents leaking into the void like spilled milk. "I need more," Arthur screamed, throwing his riches at the merchant's feet. "I have more gold, more power, more to give." The merchant simply pointed a skeletal finger at Arthur's chest. "You bought the seconds," the voice echoed, "but you never learned to live them." Arthur looked down at his treasures. In the cold light of the void, they were nothing but heavy rocks, useless weights in a world of ghosts. The sand in his palm, once vibrant and warm, suddenly turned to cold, gray ash. It slipped through his fingers, carried away by a sudden wind. He stumbled to a mirror, seeing the youth peel away like old paint. The weight of his true age crashed down upon him in a single heartbeat. Back in his office, the thousands of clocks began to slow. The rhythmic ticking that had defined his life faltered into a heavy, suffocating silence. Arthur Thorne closed his eyes. He finally understood that time is not something to be owned, but a gift that must eventually be returned. The last clock stopped. The merchant dissolved into the darkness, leaving behind only the silence that follows a story well and truly finished.